Big Bang and Genesis 1 verse 3. How does the Big Bang fulfill God's command, let there be light? According to the Big Bang theory, the universe began with the Big Bang, which was a release of trillions and trillions of degrees of heat, infrared heat. Now, infrared is part of the light spectrum, so it can be classified as light, even though it is invisible to human eyes. It is visible to God's eyes, so, and His opinion is the only one that matters. So, infrared can be the light that the Bible says God created at the beginning. According to Genesis 1, God created light at the beginning. That's one way to interpret Genesis 1, that the creation of light was the first step in the creation of the universe. I will show that the Big Bang was the fulfillment of Genesis 1 verse 3, the creation of light and the creation of the universe. But first I have to clarify why I say that God saying, let there be light, and there was light, why that is the very beginning of the universe. You see, some people say that it's not the first act of creation, because Genesis 1 verse 1 says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Now this came before verse 3, where God says, let there be light. Now, was the heavens and the earth created in verse 1, or was it in verse 3? Well, in my view, verse 1 is simply a headline statement telling what will be created later on in the chapter. I want to emphasize that Genesis 1 verse 1 is a headline statement. Another way you could look at it is that it's the credits. It's like the credits at a movie. When the movie begins, you see the name of the producer, the name who created, person who created the movie, the director, and so on. But that's not part of the movie. And in the same way, when it says God created the heavens and the earth, that's not part of the narrative. The narrative comes after that. In other words, as we leave verse 1 and go into verse 2, nothing has been created. Verse 2 starts off, and the earth was void and without form, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Now, does this mean that the earth was in existence already? No. No. When it says that the earth was void, that's a roundabout way of saying the earth is not yet in existence. Something that is totally void is something that is absent or empty. Something that is formless, again, is something that is not really there. It's nothingness. Void, formlessness is akin to nothingness. So when we move on to darkness was upon the face of the deep, This is talking about the darkness before creation. Darkness is not something that is created. Darkness is the absence of light. Absence is not something. It is nothingness.